Hello everyone, my name is Jonas and I'm the host of the Take Two podcast, which is another film and filmmaking podcast. But this time it's different because I'm hosting it, and that already means it's going to be better. So hopefully you enjoy the podcast. If you're watching the podcast on YouTube, we're also live on Spotify at the Take Two podcast, as well as this, if you're listening to it, the audio version on Spotify, we are live on YouTube for the visual episode as well. I hope you enjoy this week's episode. I'll see you in there. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Take Two podcast for the second episode. Today we are joined with my good friend Maya.
Hi.
Hello. So me and Maya, we met back in Lewis. We went to Lewis College together. We both did the same courses. It was creative media and film and TV, wasn't it?
Yeah, some very long, complicated name.
Very long. Every time I've had to do my UCAS applications, I've always never really known what the actual specific course we did.
Yeah.
It's always a different one every year. But and then we also did performing arts together. So we did that. We've also created a short film, but I've forgotten the name of the short film. But I know you were the main director. I forgot what it was called.
It was Peeper.
Peeper, that was it. What was it about again? I know it was to do with the security cameras, and
yeah, it was security cameras, and it was like a guy who got obsessed with a girl that he found on a random security camera, and then something happened to her and he went to her house, I think, but then our teacher made us change the ending where it was like all a dream.
Oh really?
Yeah,
I can't remember the ending. So yeah, I remember. Oh my god, yes, I remember the ending now, because didn't the actor, he turned up to the house, but then wait, was it? It did turn into a dream.
Yeah.
Oh.
I know, and I really like that scene as well.
Oh, I do remember that now, because I like the ending of it, and then Craig. If Craig, if you're listening, it's not aged well, that ending. But so we met at college. Still friends to this day. Maya is a very talented person working in the industry. Maya, if you want to tell about yourself.
Yeah. So I have done a lot of acting in the film industry. That's the majority of the work that I've done. I've also recently collaborated with the National Youth Theatre for an online web series that's done really well. We're one of the finalists for the Ofcom Awards, which is like an online platform series-based awards. And now I'm working on my first fully funded professional short film, directing and writing.
I mean, bloody hell. Wow. Okay, cool. So, right, do you want to talk about then your professional short film? I mean, I have to say, on my course, we've had to learn about making a Kickstarter page to do what you're doing. So you're ahead of the game from what I want to go on to do. But I do remember I pledged. I can't remember what pledge I did, but I do remember I helped contribute to this film. And I'm very happy to see that it actually reached its goal. So yeah, if you want to talk about what the film is, how you came up with the concept, and what it's about.
Yeah, so the story is that in the 19th century, in Ukraine, there were large Jewish communities. And the Tsar Nicholas I at the time, he was trying to solve the classic Jewish problem, which has been a so-called problem since the beginning of time. And one of the ways he sought to do this was to bring Jewish people into the army, and saw that as a way of making them Russian Empire citizens instead of Jewish. But it ended up being that the people who were taken to be in the army would be children. So it was young Jewish boys. The youngest recorded was 5. So really little boys kidnapped from their homes and taken to these institutions. And these institutions on the surface were to prepare them for the army and turn them into child soldiers. But the real purpose of them was to convert them to Christianity. That was the real purpose of these institutions. And the majority of the boys did convert because they were tortured, is the quick way of saying it. They were only given non-kosher food. So boys who wanted to stay kosher, they would starve. Forced baptisms, holding them underwater. A lot of boys died, these really young children. And there were only a few really who came out of these institutions that remain Jewish. And one of those boys is my great-great-granddad. So that's where the story comes from. It is sort of a family legend, a story that I've known from a little kid, and sort of brought up with this idea of Moishe. That's what the film's called, Moishe, and our title character. And we follow him from when he gets kidnapped to following through the horrific sort of torture that these boys endured, to a sort of reconciling of a healthy middle between staying alive and keeping your faith and keeping your culture. So it's been a really sort of insane process to research all of this, especially because under Soviet Russia, they try to get rid of all the evidence. You know, it doesn't make the Russians look good. And,
yeah, of course.
Yeah, they tried to basically scrub everything clean, have nothing to do with it. So there's very little research on it. So I had to translate books from Yiddish and Hebrew and get other books shipped from the States because they're not available in the UK. Because
oh wow,
yeah, there's only one book in the entire world written about it.
Oh my god, that must have been a fortune, surely, or
oh, it was. Most copies were going for around 500 quid.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And I managed to get it for around 50 because I had to get it shipped from Israel to the States and from the States to the UK. So it was a real nightmare.
Oh my words, I couldn't imagine. Fair play, well, I mean,
yeah.
the commitment there, and obviously the story as well connected to your family, that's really, you know, truly inspiring. But what I was going to ask is then, like, so okay, the story that you've got, how do you then take it into then the writing like section? How do you then say, okay, I've got this story, how am I going to then put it from the story onto the page? How would you go on to write the story?
Yeah, that was one of the really difficult things, because the story in itself, you know, is enough for a feature film. And what I mostly struggled with was, what part do I choose to tell? I don't have the expertise, I don't have the funds to do a full feature. It just wouldn't work. So it was trying to pick the part of his story that would sort of show what he went through and leaving it with an ending where it isn't a definitive end, because it wasn't. So that was the first hurdle. And we eventually chose to focus most of the film on the institution itself, because that was the time where there was the most amount of conflict. It was, and not just conflict with others and with the people who were trying to convert them, but conflict within themselves. Because what do you do as a 12-year-old boy who is, you know, getting beaten and forced to convert? And that is, I think, one of the most interesting parts of the story, is the conversion tactics and how these children managed to keep their faith. So I decided on that bit. And then it was another challenge I came across was, I know Moishe's story. We know it from his perspective. We know very little about who was there with him. We don't know what exactly happened to him. We have ideas of what happened to the Cantonists in general, but not a lot of details about himself. So it was a lot of doing that research and going, okay, we have this character, and this character is going to represent this sort of person in the historical context. So we have a younger actor who's around 9 years old, and he is symbolically representing the younger children and their sort of struggles. So it was a lot of that, creating a world. A lot of the books that were written by Jewish people are very making the children martyrs and things like this. And that was one of my main problems with a lot of the written literature, was that they weren't martyrs, they were children. They were children who were tortured, and praising them for keeping their faith, which is an incredible thing to do, is great, but also it discounts the amount of trauma that the children who did convert went through. And it also makes it very black and white, of the Russian Christians were the bad people and the Jews were the good people, which I didn't feel made a compelling story. I think it's very binary.
So how long is the short film planning to be then? Like, because obviously from my own experience, I've only normally done, like, I think the longest one I've done 17 minutes, but I've done some that are like 4 minutes. So it's kind of like trying to find how like long or short enough to tell the story. Because sometimes a short film, obviously you can pack a lot in a short film, or sometimes it can just be like one little aspect of, especially for such a topic that you're doing your short film on. I mean, mine have just been kind of just like little jokey ones. Obviously this is like proper hard-hitting stuff. So like, how long roughly is the short film?
So we managed to get it down to 18 pages on draft number 12 of the script.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So 18 pages will probably end up being around 20 minutes. So we've got a couple of scenes that are very dialogue heavy, but most of it is action based.
Oh wow, okay. So where are you in the whole process of the short film? Obviously I follow the Instagram account, and I've tried to keep up to date when I can. So yeah, exactly, like, how's the process gone from, you've got the script, obviously I know you keep doing drafts and trying to make the script and take things, make things better. That doesn't work, so you then take that away and add something else. So like, you go from that, then when do you feel like, okay, I've got a script that I'm ready to then start getting actors, getting producers, etc.?
Yeah, it was once I had done all the research and made the first draft of the script, I went on a couple of networking sites. Facebook actually helped quite a lot, and basically posted the project and said, you know, I've got this project. I'm really passionate about it. Is there anyone who wants to collaborate on it? And I met a woman called Sarah. She's the main producer now. We met a year and a half ago and started working on how do we get funding, came up with doing the Kickstarter. And through all of that, we were working on getting a pitch video. We were working on doing rewards and tiers and all of this stuff. So many emails. And
I can imagine.
yeah, and once we had raised that money, it was like, right, okay, now we need to actually do this. So I brought along another producer who he was a producer on a film I had acted in. And I found him to be very good and very concise and clear and organized. So I asked him, I was like, do you want to come on board for this one? And slowly, one by one, we got head of art department. We've now got a massive crew, over 20 people, just networking, really. It's just people who know people. And now we are filming on the 1st of March.
Wow.
Yeah, in Ireland. We were going to be filming in Ukraine. Thank God
wow.
we didn't.
Oh, why was that? Why was that?
Well, it's not an anti-Russian film, but
Mm,
it's not very nice about the Russians. And with all
of
the
course,
conflict happening between Russia and Ukraine at the moment,
Mm.
we would have been absolutely screwed.
Yeah, I can
mean,
imagine.
there was no way around that. So, and Ireland looks a bit eerily similar to Ukraine, which is great for us. Yeah.
Nice. Where in Ireland?
Near Galway. So about an hour drive from Galway, Portumna, in the middle of nowhere.
Oh,
I
wow.
mean, yeah, we went there for a recce to look at the workhouse, to look at locations, and we were staying in this tiny little cabin, and there was just nothing around for miles. We were driving from Shannon Airport, which is closed on Saturdays and Fridays. That's how little planes they have flying. It's closed on certain days.
My God.
And driving down to Portumna, and we start running out of fuel, and we're like, okay, well, there'll be a gas station nearby. There was nothing. We almost actually ran out of fuel and we would have been stranded.
Oh,
It's
my God.
so deserted and so sort of picturesque that when we went there, it was like, this is the perfect place. There's no traffic noise. There's no sort of schools nearby. Everything was just lovely. And the people are so lovely as well.
Yeah.
Now we are booking equipment hire, booking flights. We've got locations secured. We are getting everyone over there. All the child performance licenses are going through. It's all coming together in an incredibly stressful way.
Oh my God. How much crew do you have working on this film then?
So we have around 20.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Yeah, we've got gaffers, lighting. Our DOP is great. He was bringing a lot of his own crew.
Nice.
And then we've got me, 2 producers, first AD, second AD, and my little brother Zach, who I'm dragging along to be an extra, is also going to be our runner. So
nice.
That's great.
How many actors do you have in the film?
We have 6 main cast who are all flying over from the UK. We have our first rehearsal on Sunday. So Sunday the 13th, we're having an in-person rehearsal in London.
Wow.
Yeah, which is terrifying. So
I can imagine.
6 main actors, and then we've got 2 supporting actors from Ireland and around 10 other extras but supporting artists as
yeah. Oh wow. So and then what, you're filming on the 1st of March. How many days, weeks, months even? Like how long are you filming for?
We've got 5.5 days to film.
Oh, only 5. So just under a week then. Okay. That's
just
cool.
under a week. We're really pushing it. I did the storyboard. We've got about 120 shots to do in 5.5 days.
Oh, bloody hell. I mean, yeah, it's doable as well. It is.
We've got 2 days of setup before we start filming. So we've got a scene in a lake, which on day 1 I'm going to be wading into and making sure that it's all okay and not too freezing. So 2 days of setup is really going to help, because it means that we can have everything ready to go. All the sets will be dressed up already, everything where it needs to be, and accommodation all sorted. But it's really tight, especially with child actors as they can't work for more than a certain amount of hours.
How many hours is it exactly? Because I do know there's that whole problem in the industry where sometimes you try and hire like older actors like 18 that look like they could play child actors, because just for that same issue of you can't have them work for that long. So like, how long are they allowed to like legally work for?
So it really depends. If they are over 12 years old, then they can be on set for 10 hours, but they can only work for 7. And
Okay.
every hour they work, they have to have half an hour of a break.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, very sort of constraining. And we did initially audition actors who were over 16, which is licensing
16.
age. But it just ended up being that because it's so focused on the fact that they are so young, it became sort of more of a teen movie than something with children. So eventually, I think most of the cast are 14, 15, most of the main actors, and then the youngest actor we've got is 12. So it's a lot of restrictions on how long we can film. They have to have an adult with them, so we're bringing their parents along as well to take care of them. We have to have a separate room so they can do remote schoolwork.
Oh wow. Oh, okay. Oh, the whole package. Oh wow.
Yeah.
So okay, so you film 5.5 days, you get all the shots, it's all good, you're wrapped on production. When you go into post-production, how long would you roughly say that you think it would take to, edit the whole piece together, sound mixing, color grading? How long roughly would you say you're looking at it for it taking?
Yeah, I'd say best scenario 2 months.
Yeah.
If we can get everything right. We've had a great connection with the founder of Everyman Cinemas, who is creating a new platform for young filmmakers. And we're sort of a test run of their program. And he's offering services that he's made for color grading, for editing, for a lot of post-production. Because of what the film is about, we've had a lot of exposure from Jewish communities. So marketing shouldn't be too difficult, but post-production is going to be long.
Yeah. I've always just wondered, because obviously, this stuff that I want to hopefully end up doing in the future. So it was just wondering how long it would take. So okay, the film's done now. When are you going to try and put it into festivals? Is it going to go? Where are you thinking of distributing the film? Because that's one thing that I always would want to know, because obviously, as I'm again trying to go, like I'm at drama school now, I'm trying to learn how to make these films, is where do you then put these films to try and then get attraction, so then you can hopefully then in your next film it could be even bigger, with a bigger budget, a bigger film. You wouldn't need to try and get all the funds for yourself and that. So where is this film going to be distributed?
So the first thing is festival circuits, a couple of months every year where all the film festivals happen. The majority of film festivals, I mean, like 98% of them have a short film category. There are also film festivals dedicated to historical dramas. There's film festivals dedicated to Jewish films, a lot of separate ones. And sort of going through those festival circuits, seeing what happens, see the response. And we've already had a few offers of interest for people who, after we've done the festivals, would like to host it on their online platforms. So that could be that they pay us some money to host it there, or it could be every time someone wants to watch it, they pay a quid, and then we get like 20p from that. And we've also, the same Everyman founder is looking to screen the film in a big cinema, which is great, and have us do a Q&A already. So
Oh,
it's
wow.
sort of, that sort of crossroads between production and already thinking about what festivals we're going to submit it to and what's going to happen, and people already sending offers, which is crazy because you wouldn't think that would happen until the film is out, until they know what the film is going to look like. And
course.
not even reading the script, just sort of knowing the story and the people who are working on it and going, okay, we want you on our site, which is a lot of pressure to make it good.
Yeah, wow. I mean, I can't wait to watch the film now. I'm going to ask, this to be the last question I ask before we go on to our next thing. Is there a potential release date, you think? Have you got like a release date in mind? Is like when the viewers and people that want to watch this film, when they can, set their calendars to go watch this film?
So we don't have a specific date. We are hoping May.
May this year? May this year, yes. Wow. Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Well, thank you very much, Maya, for telling us about your film. I'm really excited now. I know I've contributed because I believed in your project, and now I'm even more excited just hearing you talk about it. So yeah, thank you for that. So on every episode, we then have a film debate, a film topic to talk about. So I thought I'll just keep it to one question this week. What is one film that has changed your life, or one film that has made you think, wow, or like you've seen perspective you've seen life in a new eye?
I think the main one for me is my favorite film of all time. This Is England by Shane Meadows. It is something I watched when I was younger, probably too young to watch it. But I remember sort of me and my dad used to watch a different movie every night. It was sort of our thing that we would do. And so many have blurred together, but This Is England is always the one that has stood out to me and sort of made me go, I love film. Like I don't just enjoy watching it. That was the first film where I went, that's a beautiful film. Like technically it's just gorgeous. And the whole sort of idea of these skinheads and this kid that is racist and just sort of a complete bully, but seeing where that anger comes from and seeing a much less black and white view of these characters and these amazing sort of stories. And that last shot as well, just amazing. I just love that film.
Wow. I mean, no, very good film. I mean, I won't lie, mine's not as deep and impactful. Mine's probably The Dark Knight from Christopher Nolan. I mean, I just think it is like the best comic book movie ever, I think, because it obviously is the whole thing at the moment where it's like superhero films, are they even cinema? I mean, I don't think you can even like debate that with The Dark Knight. I feel The Dark Knight is it's just from start to finish, the score, the dialogue, the acting. I mean, for me it's got the best bit of acting from Heath Ledger's Joker in that film ever. So for me, that's the movie when I watched. I know. It's the best bit of acting I've ever seen in the film, period. I don't think anyone will ever. I mean, Joaquin Phoenix did obviously another brilliant job in the Joker, but
that was great.
Heath Ledger for me will always be, but as brilliant as that was, Heath Ledger for me will always be at the top. So I think that film for me, like I don't know, that film came out in, I think it was like 2010, I believe. It was quite early, like quite a long time ago, but I was quite young. But I remember when I watched that, I just thought, wow, yeah, what a film. But I think we'll wrap it up there. So thank you very much, Maya, for coming on today. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
Oh no, it's been brilliant. Where can we find you on social medias and the film?
So I am at _Maya Katherine with a K _ on most social media. And then on all platforms, we're at Moishe Film, Moishe.
Awesome. Right. Well, make sure to go check that out, guys, if you want to keep up to date with the film. I know you will because it sounds very exciting and I'm really looking forward to it. Awesome. So, yeah, right. Thanks for that, Maya. Make sure to tune in next week for another awesome episode that we're going to have for you guys. Make sure to follow us on all social media platforms and have a great rest of your week. Woo!